We had this week Hurricane Helen or Helene that reached the United States with a Category 4 hurricane. So keeping in mind that a lot of people here got affected yesterday, lots of water surge. Keeping in mind that here we had winds close to maybe more than 200 kilometers an hour. So let's see if we can look at some of the picture or the radar pictures from the last 4 or 5 days to see how this hurricane has developed. Now, I'm not going to show today pictures of devastation right now because I don't have access to any videos without any copyright, but I'm going to see if I can bring some for tomorrow. So if I can, so here, let's go to the first one, and we have this one right here. Perfect. So here this is, so you can see the southern tip of Florida. We can see Cuba. We can see here Mexico. So here we can see the beginning of clouds of Hurricane Helene. It's not very big, and that is just earlier this week. So I'm going to see how it increased. Now here we have the 23rd of September. We had here the 24th. So here on the 24th, you can see here there's more and more evaporation. The cloud cover here is getting bigger and bigger, and you can see how the rotation of air is coming. You can see the shape starting to form. Now, keeping in mind that here we need a body of water for high evaporation so that we can have that mass of water in the clouds to make a difference and make this hurricane grow. So here again, at the end of the day, you could see here how much the evaporation is going. So that's the 25th. So here it is moving. It is on the Gulf of Mexico. We have Florida right here, and we have here the Mexico. And you can see how big this cloud system is. So that was the 25th. So that was on Wednesday. So at the end of the afternoon on Wednesday, look at how this is formed. Look at how quickly this forms. And look here, we've got hundreds of kilometers in diameter of this hurricane. So here it was a buildup where it went from Category 2, 3, and 4 when it touched down right here. Keeping in mind that we have the Gulf of Mexico, it's a large body of water. However, as it was going up here, it just drags the water from the ocean. The issue here is that you were stuck with a place where the water had no place to go. And that's why the waves were very big. So here we have here on Thursday, you can see how it's well organized. We can see the eye of the hurricane here, and look how big this cloud is up here. That's the 26th. See, the cloud cover is much thicker, and so it goes all the way south of Cuba, all the way to close to the northern states of the United States. And the 26th, you can see the eye here, and look how big this area here is. Perfect. So this is in Florida, Category 4 as it reached. So we have Cuba on the side, and we have Florida right here. And look at the cloud cover. Perfect. Now, I want to see how big this segment is. So if I was to take a map here so here between Toronto all the way to Miami here, we have the hurricane here that was Category 4, just getting into this part right here. The water had no place to go. We had waves of several meters in height. But this distance, if you were to take a plane from Toronto to Miami, is about 2,000 kilometers. So about 15 kilometers short of 2,000 kilometers. So this is like a huge distance. So we had here the hurricane, the eye of the hurricane right here, but the clouds going all the way to the northern part here. So these like thousands of kilometers of surface area with cloud cover. And here we have the eye of this hurricane. Interestingly enough, as it will go on land, what will happen here is that the hurricane no longer has the water with this evaporation to feed the hurricane, and therefore, from what I have seen, the hurricane will die out in this area here, Memphis, Nashville area. Now, keeping in mind that this is a huge distance, a huge quantity of water. So on this, I'm talking about weather patterns, but I hope that people took advice with the order to evacuate in some of those areas and that they are safe and sound. I know houses can be destroyed, our goods could be destroyed. However, life is important here. So this is what we have here. This was the hurricane this year. I wanted to show something interesting. Let's see where I put this. There it is. So here, interestingly enough, the people have been publishing the temperature of the global Earth temperature in the last 100 years or so. So here's a good graph here. Interestingly enough, you could see that we are doing an average of from 1957 to 1980. So that's why here we have an average, and this black line here is our reference point with 0 degrees. So prior to the 1950s, maybe there was the overall temperature on Earth was maybe 0.25 degrees Celsius. So it was a little bit cooler, not very much. But here, as we are going through this trend right here, we see that from 1980s, we have an increase in temperature. So here between the 1880s, we had the Industrial Revolution, to about the 80s, you could see there's an increase in temperature, maybe of 0.5 degrees. So that's when scientists started to raise the flag, saying the global Earth temperature seemed to be increasing. I remember it was part of the Kyoto Accord, and we had the Copenhagen Accord, and as the years progressed, in 2015 we had the Paris Accord, and the whole thing here is we notice that there's a trend going upward, where the global average temperature are going higher and higher. Interestingly enough, we have here in 2023 the highest average temperature of the globe in 2023. And what happened here is that it was about 1.17 degrees Celsius. It's about 1 degree warmer than the average from the 1950s and 1980s. But this increase in temperature here, you could see here there's a big peak, created a situation where in the Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico, we have the water temperature being slightly higher in temperature on average, creating a situation where we have more evaporation that is possible because the water is warmer, creating or potentially creating much stronger hurricane. So here we have this Hurricane Helene with its strength going from about here, category 1, all the way to category 4 right here, and it will die out here. So we'll see how it goes. So the idea here of, we say, well, we have climate change. It's not as if the overall Earth is changing climates very rapidly. What we have is we have changes in weather patterns. We have changes in the way the cloud systems are doing, evaporation. Some places there's more rain than others. Some places it's drier than others. We have droughts. We have inundations. A lot of difference here. So I hope that people are doing okay in that area. Next week, I'll see if I can get some pictures and information about how much devastation this has created. And that will be the video I have, the last video for this week's live. If you're interested in more information about the weather, I'm going to put here another video, or this way, about climate. You'll see lots of changes are happening as the decades are going forward. On this, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.